Okay. Let me clean my goggles and we'll get ready to get started. Give a couple seconds for people to jump on. Nadine, thank you for joining, and thank you for calling out Debbie Lee. We need to start calling out probably Kathy Lee and stuff too, but we'll see how it goes. I know I'm starting a little early tonight, but in the winter time, we'll be starting between roughly 8 and 9 o'clock, somewhere in that area. I don't think there'll be a set time, just because it's going to get colder out and it's definitely getting darker earlier and everything on that aspect. And Nadine, I probably should have had you clean these glasses before I came out here because these things are awful. All right. I got a new clicker, so we'll see how this thing works tonight. Hopefully better. Nadine, are we okay on video? Because on my end, it looks like we're having a problem. Let me know how that goes. Hey, the clicker works pretty good. Well, let's see how everything goes. Hopefully the video is working good. Nadine hasn't said anything. Must be that much of a delay. Okay. Well, I'm just going to continue on. If there's an issue, I'm sure Nadine will shout at me one way or another. So, this week we have Genesis chapter 1, verses 6 through 15. And this is, we're going to be going over to day 2 and day 3. From chaos to order. Last week, I said that and I was confused with what I was doing. But we spoke about on the first week that God doesn't create something empty. Well, we spoke about that last week, but in week 1, we talked about how science, everything has to come from order to disorder. It can't go from disorder to order. But now that we're past that and we're coming off of last week where everything was kind of messed up and God is fixing everything in a progressive order. So it goes from chaos to order now. So day 2 and 3. So I don't know what I was thinking last week when I was going over it, but every week on our studies, we always open with a text verse. And I've said from the beginning that most of it's going to come from Psalms, and then we kind of steered off that. We had Isaiah. This week we're going to have Job, and this one comes from Job 38, 4 through 11. And it says, "Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Tell me if you have understanding. Who determined its measurements? Surely you know. Or who stretched the line upon it? To what were its foundations fastened? Or who laid its cornerstone? When the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy, or who shut in the sea with doors when it burst forth and issued from the womb? When I made the clouds its garment, and thick darkness its swaddling band, when I fixed my limit for it, and set bars and doors, when I said, this far you may come, but no farther, and here your proud waves must stop." And that's Job 38, 4 through 11. One second, y'all. Not quite sure what's taking place. On my screen, it says it's waiting for the live video. Looks like everything just went good. I have no clue. So we're just going to keep moving on. So this week we're in Genesis, and we're going to break this down into 3 segments, so that way we can talk about it. So it says, then God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Thus God made a firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. So the evening and the morning were the second day. Okay, we are having a little issue with the filming. I've getting told that it stopped. And it should pick back up because that's what I'm seeing on my side. Hopefully we don't have no more issues with that. Okay, thank you, Nadine. So, this was the second day, the firmament. So, on the second day of creation, God makes an atmospheric division. And it says, let there be a firmament. The idea of a firmament is of an expanse, as we can see in the NIV or the NAS, or it's called space in the NLT. The waters of the land are separated from the water vapor in the sky, which the waters which were above the firmament, here the Bible recognizes as the existence of water vapor that's in the sky. And I'm going to show you what Moore says about this. Moore says the waters above the firmament thus probably constituted a vast blanket of water vapor above the troposphere, whatever that word is, and possibly above the stratosphere as well, in the high temperature region now known as the ionosphere and extending far into space. I kind of get it, but I don't know anything about these spheres, okay? So I'm not into that, but that's what Moore says. So basically, such a vapor blanket would greatly change the ecology of the Earth. But Morris also suggests these following things. That it would serve as a global greenhouse, maintaining an essential, uniformly pleasant temperature all over the world all at once. The next one, there would be no rain as we know it today, because without great temperature variations, there would be no significant winds and the water rain cycle could not form for it to rain down. Next one is there would be lush, tropical-like vegetation all over the world. There it is. But basically, all this is being fed by the rain, but by a rich evaporation from condensational cycle resulting in heavy dew or ground fog. So basically what it's meaning is all these vegetations wouldn't be coming from a rain from the sky. It would be coming from a dense ground fog that was moisturizing the ground and feeding the plants from roots up, which explains why fossils of tropical vegetation are found in the Arctic Circle, because the whole world was one temperature. The next one is the vapor blanket would filter out ultraviolet radiation, cosmic rays, and other destructive energies, which then those energies that are bombarding the planet, these are known to be the cause of mutations, which decrease human longevity, and human animal lifespans would have been greatly increased, which could explain why man could live 900 years at that time. And the last one, a vapor blanket would provide the necessary reservoir for a potential worldwide flood. This would be the cause of the flood in Noah's day, because God could collapse that protective canopy, that greenhouse, which filled the earth with water, and as a result, a lot of changes could have took place. And when we look at the Grand Canyon and all this crazy stuff, we can see where the earth could have split open and channeled all that water. Move on. And then it says, then God said, let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together. The idea is that before this passage, the earth was covered with water. Now that the waters are gathered together in one place, dry land begins to appear. So that one's pretty self-explanatory. We'll go to the next one. Then God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, the herb that yields seed according to its kind, and the tree that yields fruit, whose seed is in it. In itself according to its kind. And God saw that it was good, so the evening and the morning were the third day. So, what we see here is the land is divided from the sea. Plants and all types of vegetation are created. All this happened before the creation of the sun. So we have plants and life on earth at this moment, but we still do not have the sun because that's made tomorrow, the fourth day. So this means that plants must have had a sufficient nourishment because of the light God had created before the sun and the moon, as we talked about last week. Those who purpose these days of creation were not literal days, but successive ages of slow evolutionary development have a real problem here. It is hard to explain how plants and all vegetation could grow and thrive eons before the sun and the moon even exist. So no modern evolutionists would argue plant life is older than the sun or the moon. But Genesis is telling us different because it's recorded right here. That plant came before the sun and the moon. However, it wasn't eons before. And it was so, this is the beginning of life on planet Earth, directly created by God, not slowly evolving over 1 million of years. And the fossil evidence also demonstrates life exploded into existence on Earth instead of slowly evolving. So the plants were created not as seeds. Let's see if I can go back to that. Not as seeds, but with seeds in itself. But as full-grown plants bearing the seeds, they were thus created as mature plants having the appearance of age. So if we really think about it, the chicken did come before the egg. According to its kind, the phrase appears 10 times in Genesis chapter 1. It means God allows variation within a kind, but something of one kind will never develop into something of another kind. So that blows out Darwin's evolutionary theory. On the third day, there was grass, herbs, plants, trees, and fruit. Everything that man would eat for the next 1,650 years, or probably even a little more than that, roughly. And it was all created on day 3. And the reason that we can say this is because it wasn't until after the flood that God ordained that man could eat meat, animals. And so I want to show you guys a few interesting things which we have to this day, which God's wisdom was revealed on day 3 of creation. And this is something that should really bring open how everything was created with a very intelligent creator and not just by accident. So here's one. On the first day, I don't have these on slide. So I'll go and tell them to you. Each watermelon has an even number of stripes on the rind. Each orange has an even number of segments. Each ear of corn has an even number of rows. Every bunch of banana has on its lowest row an even number of bananas, and each row decreases by one, so that one row has an even number, the next row has an odd number, and so on. Each stalk of wheat has an even number of grains. And not only wheat, but all grains are found in even numbers on the stalks, and 6 times the Bible specifically mentions even number harvests of 30-fold, 60-fold, and 100-fold. So what we come down to on all this is what's behind this is this. On the first day, light was created. On the second day, the atmosphere was created. And on the third day, life. But why does life appear on the third day? If we look ahead, we know that Jesus, the way, the truth, and the life, rose on the third day. And that was a quick study on 2 days. I mean, we can really dig into a lot of this and pull out so much more. But as I'm trying to get through Genesis with you guys looks like we're been live for almost, a little over 15 minutes. I try to keep this somewhere between 30 minutes. This one was a little short. Next one I have for next week is a little bit shorter, so I'm going to combine a couple things and make it about a 30-minute thing. We'll probably do day 4 and to day 5. We may even complete day 5. And then day 6 will be solely by itself because there's so much in day 6. And then we take off from there. Creation's basically over except for the 7th day, which, so we'll do one on 7th day because that's going to have a lot in it too, because a lot of people have questions about the Sabbath. So we want to kind of touch point on a lot of those issues if we can. And then from there, it just takes off. And then what we see behind all the stories after creation with Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, the Seth's lineage, and then we get into Abraham. We actually get into Noah. And then from Noah, we get into Abraham, and so forth and so on. There's going to be a lot of stuff that we need to reveal behind the stories and understand. Not only are the stories very significant to be in the Bible, and God's really showing us something throughout the story, but so much behind the story of his redemption plan. Just so far with the first 3 days, if you missed last week, it's a very good one to go look at. We revealed so much of God's redemption plan so far just in the first day. And now the second and third day, we have life on the third day. And Jesus rose on the third day. This could be just a coincidence, but as we go on, you'll see how everything's laid out and God's revealing everything step by step. And Genesis is just an amazing book to really dig into and bring out. And I'm probably sitting here babbling on and on. But we have a lot going on. We are going to be sometime next month starting our Sunday sermons again. And we'll be going into the New Testament. So be on the lookout for that. That is going to be coming. We'll be doing the Genesis study on Thursday nights as a fellowship. And then we'll be doing the New Testament Sundays as a taping and post it for the Sunday service. The Saturday morning stuff is a hit and miss with us. I told you guys that in the beginning that we're going to do as much as we can, but we'll probably won't be on every Saturday morning. We're looking into a few things on that, but we have to make sure that we are ahead of schedule on the Thursday and the Sunday teachings before we get into digging into more research and more studying on for a Saturday morning thing. And then that's also a time situation, trying to get things, because Saturday's like the only day that we actually get things going on in the morning for me and Nadine go out and take care of some stuff, and then we don't mind doing something like this when we get back. And then we got a whole day ahead of us on with the animals and working on things and stuff like that. Because Sundays we just try to take it easy as possible before we have to re-gear for the next week. So we are working on a lot of different things, and I'm sorry, this past week I did not do no Bible trivia. I didn't realize that until yesterday for some odd reason. So my apologies on that. We will be having them next week, that's for sure. Nadine didn't even remind me. So if you guys are mad, be mad at her, because she should have known from day one. Nah, don't give her too much heck. I give her enough. So other than that, encourage Nadine to jump on Saturday mornings with me, because that would really help out if we actually take the Saturday morning thing and make it like a woman's thing, and have me help her get used to transferring over and doing the camera and stuff. She's not comfortable, and she's probably, calling me all kind of names underneath her breath right now, but that's my goal. But that way I can focus on Thursday and Sundays, and we can still have something on Saturday. It works for me, you know what I mean? But we'll see how it goes. But I'm not going to sit here and talk your ear off. None of these have been posted to YouTube and the webpage. I have really fallen off the planet on those. So I will be working on that over this weekend to get everything on there. And I'll have Nadine start doing it herself, I guess. Now, I got her doing so much stuff. She's doing so much on the postings for us. She has really taken over the Jesus Calling mornings and evenings that I was posting. I messed up that one week, and I posted the following month stuff. And then she fixed it, and she's been taking care of it then, because she knows how incompetent I am. I can't get nothing right. So we've been doing pretty good until this week, and I forgot to do the daily trivia. So I'm going to try not to let her take that over. So I will be posting next week. So if I can maybe get her to take on like a handful more things, we'll be set. But that's a lot on her plate. So we will work on it. If anybody out there wants to kind of help out, please message us. I mean, we got so many things that we want to do, but we just can't do it all on our own. So we could use some help to free us up, so that way we can work on some more other things. Other than that, I'm going to close this off. Nadine's giving me a whole bunch of different faces there. Amy Marie, man, you're late. I'm like done. How you popping on now? Nah, Amy, good to see you. Whatever you missed, you can always watch again, over and over. But I'm going to close off. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, share with friends and family, and always submit to the Word of God. And I know Debbie Lee's going to be on. I don't know if she's on now. Oh, snap. Oh, I don't know if she's on now. Sometimes she's on. She can't reply. She's usually always replying once I'm done. So I know that you're somewhere around, Debbie Lee. So God bless you. Hope everything's well. I miss communicating with you guys. Amy Lee says, I know I'm late. Yeah, you're late. It's like there ain't even nothing on the screen no more. Come on now. When that phone goes off and says Seeking Christ Ministries live, that's when you got to be on. I'm not going to wait around for y'all. Just kidding. I try to wait. I try to stall in the beginning, but I'm not very good at stalling. It's usually at the end where I just start talking and don't shut up. So I'm going to shut up now. I hope you all have a good week. Until next week, God bless.